Hey, welcome to The Explainer. We're all about breaking down big ideas into stuff you can actually use. And today we are tackling a big one, Josh Kaufman's The Personal MBA. We're going to turn its key lessons into a super practical 30-day playbook for taking your idea from just a concept all the way to launch. All right, let's just get right into it. This right here, this is the founder's nightmare. Spending months, maybe years, building something amazing, only to find out nobody actually wants it. It's the most common and devastating mistake out there. But what if I told you there's a single, unbreakable law that can save you from all that pain? So for week 1 of our 30-day plan, this is your only job. It's all about the foundation. Seriously, getting this part right is the difference between a product that flies off the shelves and a project that just fizzles out. Look, here's the bottom line. It's called the iron law for a reason. It doesn't matter how brilliant your idea is or how elegant your code is. If you don't have a hungry market waiting for it, you've got nothing. This law is cold, it's hard, and it does not care about your feelings. So here's your game plan for week 1. First, don't start with the idea. Start with the market. Find a group of people and figure out what really drives them. Are they trying to gain status, find love, acquire knowledge? Second, size up the opportunity. Is this a tiny niche or a massive growing market? And third, this is the most important part. You have to run a shadow test. Before you build a thing, set up a simple landing page, describe your product, and put a pre-order button on it. See if anyone at all, is willing to pull out their wallet. That's how you know you're onto something. Okay, so you've validated your idea. Fantastic. Now we're into week 2, and the challenge shifts. It's time to build smarter and faster. And this is interesting. It doesn't start with code or mock-ups. It starts right up here, in your head. You know, your brain is actually an incredible prediction machine. Kaufman calls it mental simulation. Think of it like a horse and a rider. The horse is your gut instinct, your intuition. The rider is your rational, logical mind. By consciously playing out scenarios in your head, you let the horse and rider work together to spot problems before they happen, saving you a ton of time and money. But there's a huge trap here, and you gotta watch out for it. It's so easy to fall in love with your own ideas, right? That's confirmation bias. It's that little voice in your head that only pays attention to the good news. To fight it, your job is to become your idea's #1 critic. Actively go looking for the flaws. Try to prove yourself wrong. It feels weird, but it's absolutely crucial. And for our last mental model, we're going to flip a common problem on its head. You know how this goes. Give yourself a week to do something, it takes a week. Give yourself a month, it takes a month. That's Parkinson's law. But you can use it as a weapon. Give yourself an insanely short deadline. Ask, what if I had to launch the most basic version of this by Friday? It forces you to cut out all the fluff and focus only on what truly matters. All right, so we're thinking faster, but how do we build faster? Welcome to week 3. This is all about speed, not just working harder, but learning at lightning speed. Think about it like this. You didn't learn to ride a bike by reading a physics textbook, right? No. You got on, you wobbled, you probably fell, you adjusted, and you tried again. You went through lots of tiny, fast learning cycles. That is iteration velocity. The goal for your launch is to get through as many of those observe, test, improve cycles as you possibly can. So how do you actually do this? Well, there are 3 killer tactics here. 1, start with a minimum viable offer, the absolute bare bones version of your product that still solves a real problem. 2, focus on the critical few. Forget the 10 extra features you think you need. What's the one magic feature that delivers 80% of the value? Build that. And 3, externalize. Get all your tasks and ideas out of your head and onto a list. Your brain is for having ideas, not for storing them like a messy filing cabinet. Okay, week 4. Maybe you've launched, you have your first 2 customers. Now what? Well, the game totally changes. It's not about building anymore. It's about scaling. How do you deliver that value to more and more people? And a huge piece of this is knowing what kind of business you're in from the very beginning. Some models are just built to scale, and some aren't. Think about it, a one-on-one consultant can only help one person at a time. That's really hard to scale. But a piece of software or a digital book, that can be sold 1,000,000 times while you sleep. That's a strategic choice. Now, when we talk about growing revenue, it can feel super complicated, right? Marketing, sales funnels, LTV, CAC. But what if I told you it all boils down to just 4 things? That's it, only 4. And here they are, the 4 fundamental levers of revenue. Every single growth tactic you've ever heard of fits into one of these boxes. You can get more customers in the door, you can convince each person to buy a little more each time they do,
You can get them to come back and buy more often. Or, and this is the one people forget, you can just charge more. That's it. Focus your energy here.
You know, it's like James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, said, "This book is a gold mine. It's not just a collection of random tips. These ideas from the Personal MBA give you a solid, reliable framework you can use to build pretty much anything of value."
So, look, knowing all this stuff is great, but it's pretty much useless without action. The real value is in the doing. So my question to you is, what's one tiny, simple experiment you can run, like tomorrow, to test your own idea out in the real world? That's it for this explainer.
Subscribe for more actionable executive summaries, and if you want deeper insights and exclusive content, support the channel on Patreon. You'll find the link in the description.